So my journey leans on to Shauna. And it actually, my first pregnancy was when Amy was getting married, and she came up to Washington from Arizona, and Melissa was throwing her bridal shower, and I was in the midst of a miscarriage and distraught and distracted and all of those things, and couldn't even be present for that moment in your life, which felt, reflecting back, just shitty.
Yeah.
But as we've all kind of experienced this, it definitely takes everything out of you at times to walk this journey and to walk this path. And then I think I had a second one just before your wedding.
Is it
and no, definitely not you. But I remember going to your wedding being like, I'm going to have fun this time. But my second loss, unlike my first loss, which was very early on, my second loss, I thought I was at 17 weeks, and it was the first time that I said I can go to an OB ultrasound by myself, and it wasn't even my doctor that was there. It was a different doctor this time, and no heartbeat, and it was absolutely devastating. And to find out that the baby was 14 weeks, and we had already known that it was a boy at that time. And I remember driving to the procedure and saying, when I get on the other side of this, I want to help people that are in the same situation. And I get to do that now. Dr. Dudley was our doctor as well. And I said, all of these have been boys. I don't need to do IUIs. I know I need to do IVF. My mom had to do IVF for my siblings, and we're just gonna get to the part of the situation. We're just gonna do this. And we did it, and I felt very proud. I got 40 eggs, and it was just this crazy thing to think that we had all these babies, that we had 40 eggs and 20 fertilized or some crazy number, and what are we gonna do with all these babies? Well, needless to say, they don't all make it to that point, but we were able to do genetic testing and all of that, and got plenty of normal embryos, and we had some girl embryos, and we said, okay, let's just transfer some girls. Let's see if that's the key. Sure enough, it was, because transfer of 2 girls, we got our daughter Lila, and she's just as tenacious and strong-willed as you would imagine her to be, to make it this, to be in our life. And then going into our second pregnancy, our second child, we had embryos left over, which was very exciting. Didn't have to go through meds, didn't have to go for a procedure again, and got pregnant again with a boy. That didn't work out. No, let's go back. I was pregnant when Lila was 10 months, and I remember calling Shauna, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, and it's 12 weeks. I didn't even know. I thought I was spotting because Lila was 10 months old, and I'm like, oh, that's how you get through the first trimester. But unfortunately, that pregnancy didn't work out, but that was okay, because I wanted to honor the time that I had with Lila at that time, and so that was a much easier loss, relatively speaking. And then we did 2 transfers, and both of those were boys. So 4 out of 6 losses were boys. So we're like, okay, that must be part of the issue. Did testing for that. Don't have any issues genetically for me that would make it so I can't carry boys. But for whatever reason, the universe, that's not in our cards. So we did another round of IVF with another retrieval, and transferred. No, we even thawed 2 boy embryos. Those didn't even survive the thaw. The universe is saying no boys. No boys from your family.
No Rourke boys.
No more boy Rourkes. No more. The one you have is plenty.
Yeah.
And so poor Dr. Dudley, I was working that day, and he came in and was so upset. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's that, it's about having that other baby. It's not about what the baby is. It's about having that other baby. And so we ended up finding 2 girls before that transferred, and little Miss Daphne, or Delilah, entered our world, and what a blessing that she is, and completes our family. When people say that that other child, that second child or third child or whomever completes their family, I definitely know what that means. Having Lila, I know my journey's not over. I wasn't ready to stop there. But Daphne, she makes our family complete. And I think when I was listening to you, one of the things that infertility brought out in me was being tenacious and resilient, and knowing when I put my mind to something, I can make it happen. So I am a nurse, and prior to what I do now, I was doing hospice, which is much different than what I do now, which is helping the people that I said that I wanted to help. And I became a surgery nurse at Seattle Reproductive Medicine, and I've been there almost 7 years now, helping women, families get their babies, help those miracles happen, that sparkle. And when I am with a patient during a D&C and they're drifting off to sleep, having had my experience that first time, like thinking my baby when I wake up is no longer going to be with me anymore, and being able to just put your hand on their shoulder, and even though you don't talk, you don't say anything, but just having that moment of knowing that their last thoughts may not be super great, and just really trying to be just that presence, a warm presence for them as they drift off to sleep after this tragic loss. Is something that I try to think about from my experience when I am with a patient going through the same. They're all so lucky to have you.